We're living in a world right now where issues like climate justice and racial justice and poverty and so many other issues that feel so palpable in this moment. There's a sense of urgency. We think about their impacts on people's lives as we go about our days. We start to invest our time and resources and networks to come up with solutions. And this is what I love about movement building and what makes it so special. It only works after we've all recognized that the success of this progress of whatever we're asking for is only possible after we've all stepped up and become personally invested in it. That's what people power is. People come together and elevate the issue that we're seeking to change and make sure that we find a solution by working together. It's so much of what powers Swipe Out Hunger. When we went from just a few friends who advocated on our campus to having friends on other campuses also ask, how do I do this? Students across the country who knew that their friends were surviving on ramen noodles, who weren't able to focus in class, finally saw an opportunity for them to step up and make a difference. And they went and they took that change on campus and together with their schools began to ask the question of how do we re-envision what it means to be in college and for us as universities to support our students. I think about this paradigm a lot, the difference between impact and movement building. And I have to tell you that I don't always think that they're the same. There's an element of movement building that centers ourselves in our narrative. At its best, it's about us being able to have a story for our grandchildren, to let them know that when the world needed us to wake up and be on the streets, we were there. It's incredibly important for us to be able to sustain ourselves in this movement work, to be tapped into that, and to know that others are also understanding why they're stepping up. By sharing our story of what motivates us to make a difference, it awakens a part in someone else to also know why they might too also want to step up. I'm highly aware of this when I choose to tell the story of us starting Swipe Out Hunger as students with extra meal plans and our activism, as opposed to telling you about the work of Swipe Out Hunger through the lens of a student and their experience of going through school with, just a granola bar for a meal that day until they're able to go home. A few weeks ago, our team was deciding if we were going to take action on a piece of legislation. We recognized that given the climate, it probably wouldn't pass, but it was going to be an incredible opportunity to engage our student leaders in advocacy and give them a chance to mobilize and engage their communities, to start to build some of that people power. But knowing that it wouldn't pass, we still chose to invest in that strategy because we knew that we needed people to be trained and ready should the moment come. Of course, the reverse has also happened where we said, this bill needs to pass, we know there's a pathway to success, and we push forward there. Both of these are important, but what's important in this story is to bring awareness to what we're choosing, when, and why. Designing a program that's committed to ending hunger, to having an impact, to advancing legislation that's going to do that is different than investing as an organization in a plan that's focused on advocacy. They have two different outcomes, and the awareness around both allows us to know, are we in line with our goals as an organization or as a person? Doing this individually comes with some sacrifice. I have this one friend who every year organizes a Thanksgiving Day volunteer day, where he asks everyone to donate so they can buy food, which they then go and hand out to people who are experiencing homelessness on the street. I often think about what would happen if I called him and said, what you're doing isn't going to end hunger. And invite him to think about, are you doing this because it makes you feel good, that it's something nice that you'll probably post on Instagram and you'll feel good about? But what would it look like if you were actually going to take action that was in solidarity with and striving to provide liberation for those that you're serving? And maybe that would mean organizing his friends to do a call drive to call their congresspeople and ask for increased access to SNAP. My friend Robert Egger often says that charity, the way we have it now, is about the redemption of the giver and not the liberation of the receiver. There is a personal cost when it comes to prioritizing impact over ourselves. As someone in the anti-hunger space, I'm enamored by the idea of the Shmi Tire, where after 6 years of growing and harvesting and benefiting from our amazing land, we say for 1 year, we're going to just leave this land open, almost as if it's public property, and allow everyone, our neighbors, strangers, people who experience hunger every year, to come and get the food that they need. What's more, the Torah says that even after everyone has come and accessed this food, you're supposed to still leave the land open for animals and beasts and everyone else. And even after that, you're supposed to leave this land open. And I'm so struck by this idea of this, for me, it feels like sacrifice of continuing to just for the full year, leave the space open. And in Judaism, we love pauses, we love spaces, we leave opportunities for reflection before days of reflection. And what I think about in this moment is maybe this extra pause is an opportunity for us to remove ourselves from the equation. In this moment when we feel this urgency to have to act, to not start our sentences with what can I do, but instead leave an open space and see what might happen if we prioritize the issue and if we prioritize those that we seek to serve, and we showed up asking the question, what does it mean to be in solidarity and fight for the liberation of those we seek to serve? Maybe by removing ourselves, we'll get a new perspective, be able to tell a new narrative, and with that space, come up with a new path forward, one that'll be faster and more collaborative and actually allow us to solve these problems that for generations we've been asking for solutions for. The nonprofit Swipe Out Hunger is committed to ensuring that every college student has access to the meals they need to thrive. In our country, 1 in 3 college students are, by USDA standards, food insecure. That means they show up to classes with grumbling stomachs, unable to focus, which is mind-boggling to me because we also have incredible dining halls on campus full of nourishing food, and we also have hundreds of millions of dollars on college student meal plans that go unused and are completely unrefundable. The premise behind Swipe Out Hunger is to allow students to donate the extra money from their meal plans onto the accounts of their peers who are hungry. We started this as teenagers at UCLA, and little by little we grew from one campus to another, and now we're on over 120 campuses in 38 states, ensuring that every student has access to the nourishment that they need to do well in school.